Carbs. The body needs them to live, and I need them to make life worth living.
Andy, are you okay?
Oh, I'm fine. It's just that life is pointless and nothing matters, and I'm always tired.
But real talk, too many carbs can do a number on your body, especially when it comes to your blood sugar levels. But what exactly is the problem with diving into the pasta bowl? Can I actually give myself diabetes with donuts? And if you already have diabetes, what are you supposed to eat? Is bread off the menu forever? So many questions. I'm Torri, Parade's resident health guru, and thanks to the Cleveland Clinic, I can answer all of these questions and more. This is the TMI Show. Before we can understand if carbs are causing diabetes, let's first explore what diabetes actually is.
I'm Wilfred Brimley, and I'd like to talk to you for a few minutes about diabetes.
In a nutshell, diabetes is a disease that stops your body from properly using the energy created by the foods you eat. And before we talk about the role that carbohydrates and blood sugar play in diabetes, it helps to know how the body uses food as fuel, a process called metabolism. Your body is made up of millions of cells, and these cells need food, in a very simple form, in order to make energy. When you eat or drink, much of that is broken down into a simple sugar called glucose. Glucose gives your body the energy for daily activities. Your blood and blood vessels are what move the glucose sugar around your body. Sugar is transported from the stomach, where it's taken in, or the liver, where it's manufactured, to cells all throughout your body. Cells that use the glucose are your muscles. Cells where it's stored are fat. But here's the thing, glucose can't go into the cells by itself. So your pancreas releases insulin into your blood, and this insulin acts as a key to unlock cells and let the sugar in.
I swear you said you had the keys. No, I didn't. I wouldn't say I had the keys unless I had the keys, and I obviously did not have the keys. Oh, okay, all right, that's it. Enough with the keys. No one say keys.
With diabetes, either the pancreas produces little or no insulin at all, or the pancreas makes insulin, but the insulin doesn't work as it should. Without insulin, sugar can't get into cells, and this causes the amount of sugar in the blood to rise. Too much sugar in the blood is called hyperglycemia, or the simpler yet less impressive vocabulary term, high blood sugar. You may know that there are two types of diabetes, type 1 and type 2. Type 1 is what was formerly known as juvenile diabetes. Now, this is the most common form of diabetes in people under age 30, but it can occur at any age. It happens when the insulin-producing beta cells of the pancreas are damaged. People with type 1 diabetes must use insulin injections to control their blood sugar. 90% of people with diabetes have type 2. Now, type 2 used to be called adult onset diabetes, but now we know that kids can get it too. Lucky them. In type 2 diabetes, the pancreas makes insulin, but it either doesn't produce enough or the insulin doesn't work like it should. So back to our question. The bad news is there are several factors that can lead to diabetes. But hey, good news, eating too many carbs does not. Nachos a la Torri back on the menu. In fact, your body needs carbs. Remember our metabolism chat? Well, carbohydrates are your body's preferred energy source.
Hey, can I get a little piece of that cake?
Pizza! We like pizza! Get out!
Contrary to popular thinking, people with diabetes can enjoy moderate amounts of carbohydrates. The emphasis is on carbohydrate control, not carbohydrate avoidance. But not all carbs are created equally. The healthiest carbs are slowly digested, which helps you not only feel full longer, but also helps to keep your glucose from spiking after you eat them. Let's discuss some of the best carby foods for people with diabetes. First, the humble sweet potato, a great source of vitamin C, potassium, and fiber. Next, the fancy cruciferous vegetable, broccoli, cabbage, kale, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts. I'm loony for legumes. Black beans, garbanzo beans, kidney beans, lima beans, navy beans, and pinto beans are loaded with fiber and protein, which will help you feel full with fewer calories. And then there are whole grains, like 100% whole wheat bread, brown rice, quinoa, that kind of stuff. They should be your go-to when it comes to starchy foods. On the other end of the spectrum, you've got foods like candy, sugary cereals, white bread, rice and pasta, and anything from the cake family. Because your body breaks down the carbs in these foods quicker, they cause your blood sugar to go from 0 to a bazillion.
There's some secret ingredient in these Nutri-Yum bars that make me feel so good.
Sugar. It's a block of sugar.
which isn't a great thing to do on a daily, or if you have diabetes, even weekly basis. It's not like you can never have your cake and eat it too, you just gotta keep your consumption within reasonable limits. I've never understood that saying, I only ever have cake because I want to eat it. So let's review. Carbs do not cause diabetes, but too much of certain carbs, I'm looking at you, Captain Crunch, can lead to elevated triglyceride levels and weight gain. And those happen to be 2 risk factors for diabetes. Other risk factors include family history, which you can't change unless you know something every evolutionary scientist who has ever lived doesn't. But there are plenty of others you can do something about, like high blood pressure, smoking, and high cholesterol. Now, there's no cure for diabetes, but it can be treated and managed. And if it's not treated, it can do a real job on your body. Everything from your heart to your kidneys to your circulation system can be damaged. So if you think you've got it, it's go to the doctor time. Some simple tests will tell you what's what. And if you want more information on diabetes, the Cleveland Clinic has some great resources you can check out right here, click away. Do you have a TMI question? Drop it in the comments or send us an email at tmiquestions@parade.com, and maybe you'll see it answered on the next episode of the TMI Show. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.